Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. The Trump administration on Wednesday announced it had reached an asylum agreement with Honduras' scandal-plagued government, unveiling the latest of its controversial immigration deals with the three countries in the Central America's Northern Triangle, where the bulk of U.S.-bound migrants are currently coming from or transiting through. Acting Secretary Kevin McAleenan from Department of Homeland Security has spearheaded a campaign of diplomacy to broker bilateral accords with several Latin American countries designed to deter migrants considering journeying to the U.S.-Mexico border. The deal means that the U.S. will have the power to potentially deport thousands of asylum seekers from all corners of the globe to Honduras, a country that, like Guatemala and El Salvador, has seen a lot of its citizens journeying north because of the poverty and violence rampant in many areas. In practice, those likely to be affected by the implementation of Wednesday's agreement will be migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Brazil, Venezuela, and African countries. Last week, the administration touted a similar deal with El Salvador, while earlier in the summer, the U.S. and the Guatemalan government brokered an agreement to allow the Trump administration to deport asylum seekers who traveled from other countries to Guatemala to reach the U.S.-Mexico border to seek asylum in Guatemala instead. And now we turn to our neighboring country in Brazil. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro attacked the media yesterday for lying about the fires in the Amazon and criticized international concern for the rainforest as fueled by interest in the region's biodiversity and mineral wealth. A day after shunning a high-profile UN meeting on climate change, Bolsonaro used his speech to the General Assembly to reinforce Brazil's sovereign right over its 60% share of the Amazon. Bolsonaro said the dry weather at this time of year favored fires, both spontaneous and illegal, stating the rainforest is not being devastated by the blazes, as the lying media says. At the UN, Bolsonaro insisted that Brazil is one of the countries that most protects its environment and uses only 8% of its territory for agriculture to produce food that the world needs. And finally, in tonight's regional news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has directed National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang and the security forces to take firm action to curb indiscipline on the nation's roads, which he has said has reached a level where it is a threat to our economy and public order and safety. In a statement last night, Holness said he had been briefed by Chang, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, and Transport Minister Robert Montague on the incident which Monday night left 2 persons dead. The resulting strike action by Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC bus drivers left hundreds of Jamaicans stranded on the nation's road. Those killed were JUTC employee 34-year-old Michael Donaldson, otherwise called Biggs of Bull Bay, and taxi driver 37-year-old Aquino Britton, otherwise called Bobby Nile, of a Kingston 10 address. The killings led to chaos Tuesday morning as JUTC bus drivers failed to turn out to transport commuters, and rumors swirled, including on social media, that JUTC employees and facilities were under threat of retaliatory attack. Holness told the JUTC drivers that all necessary measures would be put in place to ensure their safety and security so they could continue to provide the public with the transportation services going forward, and offered his sympathies to the families of the JUTC employee and taxi driver who were killed. And that was all for tonight's regional news.